goals, just meditate. Don't feel the hate, you the energy and levitate. Contemplate, make sure your next decision great. Thank me later, I just showed you how to elevate. About the shit in our communities. Drop knowledge just to spread opportunities. And as always, think with greatness into the next zone.
Arguably the best game of his career. Right now, Travis Kelce has more touchdowns than games played. More touchdowns than games played. Travis Kelce looks 26 years old. The only tight end to ever do that was Gronk, when he scored, I think, 18 touchdowns over the course of a 16-game season. Patrick Mahomes yesterday threw for over 320 yards, and he was down as, if we went back to last year, he's down as number 1, number 2, number 3 receiver. I mean, he was down as starting 2 receivers last night. They put 3 tight ends on the field, and it was like nothing. And Patrick Mahomes is a grim reaper, man. Like, did anybody have any doubt when Justin Herbert threw that touchdown? Like, oh, this game's over. Patrick's gonna go score. What do you want to do? You want to play coverage? He'll run it. You want to play one-on-one? He'll hit Kelce. It's just remarkable what Patrick has done. The ability to transform himself. It reminds me of what Tiger did early on in his career, candidly, when Tiger was blowing everybody's doors off in golf, and he's like, I got to change my swing because I can be better. The Chiefs changed their offense this year. They did. With the personnel and the trade of Tyreek Hill and the ability to be so multiple with their different groupings. Patrick going under center, a little bit more play action pass, the ball distribution, the way that he's playing football. When everyone came into this season questioning, is Patrick going to fall off without Tyreek? This is not shade at Tyreek. Tyreek's incredible. But is Patrick going to fall off? No. He's actually gotten better. This offense has gotten better. I don't know how you stop them. Unless they stop themselves and play sloppy football or disoriented football and get out of control with their play calling, which they're not going to do with Andy. I don't like the way Patrick is playing. Has to be one of the more incredible quarterbacking performances. Because I can sit here and tell you, outside of Travis, I don't know if he has a legit 1. And I don't know if he has a legit 2. I think Juju's like a really good 3 right now. MVS is a really good 3. He doesn't have a bona fide 1 or 2. Every other star quarterback does at the wide receiver spot.
I'm going to respectfully disagree with you. Even though I've got Patrick Mahomes as my MVP, I'm going to respectfully disagree with you. Here's what I want you to think about as football players. I want y'all to think about this. What did we think about Tua Tagovailoa before this season?
Here we go.
I thought he was a star.
Well, you were the only one because nobody else did. We looked at Tua Tagovailoa, and we knew that he could ball because we saw what he did at Alabama. But since he's been in the pros, miniature quarterback, had some injuries, had some real huge question marks, dip and dunk, et cetera, et cetera. Tyreek Hill departs from Patrick Mahomes, who's a stud, and nobody's questioning that, but departs from Patrick Mahomes and says, Tua is this special. Tua is this special. And none of us had seen that specialness until Tyreek Hill got into Miami, okay? In 10 games, he has 5 games of over 140 yards, okay? He's got 4 games of over 160 yards, okay? 3 of those games are over 175 yards. The brother is special. And let me tell you something right now. He's made Waddle better. He's made Tua a bona fide big-time threat in the National Football League. And that is what I appeal from it. Patrick Mahomes, again, I'm not questioning his greatness by any stretch of the imagination. But Travis Kelce, my brother from another mother, that brother is something special. Let's say this about Travis Kelce. Without question, he is the best tight end in football. We had George Kittle, Wallen,
come up and make a little fight for a moment.
There's nothing to talk about.
Like
Travis Kelce is the best tight end in football. Travis Kelce is a surefire, first ballot, future Hall of Famer. Period. And no matter what you throw out against him, he's always getting open. He's always getting open.
Always.
You got somebody manning up on him. You got him double teamed.
Corner, safety, linebacker, don't matter.
I bring him up because it says a lot when Patrick Mahomes has that weapon to rely upon. And he ain't a new weapon. He's the same old weapon. And so because of that, that helps offset the loss of the Tyreek Hills and others to some degree. But Tyreek Hill going to Miami and having that profound of an impact to the point where we're able to say that the Miami Dolphins have not lost a game this season that Tua Tagovailoa has started and finished.
Right.
Well, guess what? We weren't saying that about him last year. We weren't saying that about him the year before, but we're saying that about him right now. Why? We look at Waddle. Waddle always had that speed coming out of Alabama. We ain't talk about him before the way we're talking about him now. Why? Tyreek Hill. Because when you got that brother on the other side of the field, all of a sudden, Waddle, Waddle's a different animal because you can't key on Waddle the way you once did before Tyreek Hill got there. And even with Tua, guess why? Guess what? The last point. Tua don't have to throw deep. He can throw it 5 yards to Tyreek Hill. And I said this to you before. Tyreek Hill catches the ball, and he turns around and squares up against you. He is the only receiver that I've ever seen where a defender literally first has to make sure he's planted and he's standing before this dude.
And when you freeze.